Hey friends, so in the last video we created the register route and completed the whole implementation. So in this video we will create the login route which will basically check whether the user is registered, and if it's registered and the password is correct, it will successfully log them in. So this login part is also a multi-part series or multi-part videos. So in this video we will write the whole code for the authentication endpoint up until the point where we are checking the username and password is correct. And in the future videos I'll give you some resources at the end of this video that will teach you what JSON Web Token is, JWT, which is the modern way of authentication in APIs most of the time, dealing with APIs. So I'll give you some good video resources to understand about JWT, and in the next video we will implement uh, the JWT in our login endpoint. So I think we should get started, and here we will create another post endpoint which will be login, and let's see what's happening. Oh, this will go inside here. So for that, here we will copy paste some stuff from our register endpoint. So we'll copy paste these three steps: reading from the body, validating, and then putting it in these two variables. So we simply do that, and now we will check here whether the user exists or not again. So let's do that. Um, so write a comment, check if user exists, and we'll create the user variable again with db. We'll do from user entity select. So these are the steps that we did the last time, but a little bit things will be different here now. So here we'll do where again user entity dot username equals to username, right? And then we will map. So here what we will do is we'll read all the three values: the ID, username, and password. So we'll do val ID and it user entity dot id, and we will forcefully get the value, and then we will do username again it user entity dot username, then password, and the same thing as here, just here it will be password. And then at the end we will create a user object and pass the user name and password. And I think we would need to create this user object as well, so let's create this. Let's create a data class. So in the model we will create a data class for this user and name it user, and simply have three variables. One will be id, which is an int, then username, a string, then password, which is also string. So let's import that and we'll return that from here. And again, let's see, first or null, right? So this is of type user here. So the next step is, again, I'll just copy paste from the above endpoint. So this one. So but here we will do a little bit different thing. So instead of saying user already exists, because we are not registering here, we'll say invalid username or password. So we will never tell the user whether the username was incorrect or password. We are always ambiguous that one of them is wrong, because we don't want some hacker to know that, oh, at least the username that they're trying is correct. So that's why we just give them a message invalid username or password. And the next step we will do is, if the user exists, now here we know that the user doesn't exist. So if the user exists, we will check the password, and again here we will use the bcrypt library. So we'll create a variable called does password match, and then again from the bcrypt library there is a method called check password, where first we pass the plain text password that we are receiving from our request, so that is password. And then so this object now has the password that is being fetched from the database. So we'll do user dot password, and here we have to do the question mark. So if password does not match, we will again send the same response. Otherwise, we'll just send the response okay, and then success as true and data as user successfully logged in. So let's try this now. So let's run our server. Let's go to Postman and we will duplicate this one and do the login. So now in the last time we created certain users, so let's check what users we created. Let's do use nodes, and so we have John Doe, so we'll try John.Doe. And password as password. Oh, sorry. Okay. John.Doe. So we did a mistake here. Instead of checking user not equal to null, we have to check user equals to null. If there isn't a user, then we will say invalid username or password. Another mistake that I did was we don't want the hashed password here. We just want the password. So let's try for the third time. So let's try running this now. Hopefully this time it works. So yeah, so user has been successfully logged in. If we enter the wrong password, it says invalid username or password. So basically a couple of mistakes that I did was, so like in the registration endpoint, we got the hashed password, but in the login endpoint, we don't want the hashed password. We just want the password from the body. And then because here we are passing the plain text password, and then this object has the hashed password already. So this method will automatically convert this plain text password to the hashed password or vice versa, and then check whether these two match or not. And the other mistake that I did was we have to check if the user does not exist. If it's null, then tell the client that it's invalid username or password. So we have created our register and login endpoint. So in the next video, I will teach you how to create JWT tokens. And to learn more about JWT tokens, you can go to YouTube and you will search for JWT Spring, and you will get these two videos. One is what is JWT authorization and what is the structure of JWT. So these two videos have explained very beautifully what JWT is, and I don't think I can explain that clearly, that what these videos have done. So I'll rather give you the right resources, rather I confuse you with my own explanation. So I'll put the link of these two videos in the video description for you, and hope you are able to understand. And if you have any questions about JWT, please comment. I'll be happy to answer. So I'll meet you in the next video. We will where we will create our JWT tokens. Thank you very much.